Lately, I've been craving a sense of escape. North and East London start to feel too familiar. I feel like I know every street, every bus route, every cafe. My mind is gasping for novelty. I started looking back to my early days in London when I could get on any bus, anywhere, in any direction, with the promise of absolute bombardment with the new for the whole length of the journey. I miss this feeling. So I started going to West London on the weekends just because. It's part of the city that I barely explored, and home, it turns out, to a completely different way of life. Unlike the gentrified East, where I spend most of my time, these parts have been wealthy for much longer. And we know that cities invest in wealthy areas. We know this brings the sense of peaceful, picturesque calm that only money can buy. I don't want to like it, but I do. I find myself in a pub in Chelsea and listen in on a conversation among some guys who almost definitely work in finance. Socialism sounds great, one of them says, but who's going to pay for it? I immediately want to say, well, conceivably, people like you. People with their disproportionate access to money and resources. You pay more in taxes, but then all of us benefit. And I can guarantee you would retain all the comforts of life. You would even benefit from the services of a socialist economy. This is what I want to say to him. But even here, it feels like I'm running up against the limitations of my own imagination. I know I'm just describing social democracy. Everything stays the same, but with more public services. I'm trying so hard to imagine an ideal world, but it's still predicated on certain people working certain jobs that pay significantly more than others. It's still predicated on the idea that some people will naturally receive less. It does nothing ultimately to challenge the concept of endless production and endless growth. And then as I think about this, I know too that right now I'm buying completely into this cycle of endless production by feeding the social media machine, even if I don't agree with it. I know that I'm forcing myself to create at pace, in the hope that it will buy me my freedom, and maybe one day will buy me a place in one of these peaceful, moneyed enclaves. I feel guilty thinking these thoughts, but then I wonder, is it really so wrong to want comfort, to want security, to want to be surrounded by beauty? Is this just human nature? I would never want these things at the expense of someone else, to deprive another of their own comfort and security and sense of beauty through my own possession of these things. I just find that I want them, unconnected to any sociological understanding. And ultimately, it's been a hard couple of years, few years, 5 years. And that's the vantage point I'm approaching all of this from. It's been a past few years full of too much work and not enough fun, and a standard of living that keeps falling short of my largely modest expectations. I find that I'm always in a hurry, but I'm getting nowhere fast. And it's from this exact vantage point that I feel the need to tap into other ways of life, to see other lives being lived in real time, to detach from my own reality, even if it's just for a few hours, to go somewhere that I've never seen before, that looks completely different from what I see day to day, that feels completely different, to be somewhere where my shoulders relax and I feel like I can breathe. And when I'm there, I can pretend that I could be anyone, anywhere.